political party, the Freedom Front Plus, hopes that U.S. President Donald Trump's inclusion of a video that showed white crosses that memorialize white victims of farm murders will actually lead to resources being directed towards curbing the farm attacks. Well, this comes a few days after the historic meeting between President Cyril Ramaphosa and Trump had sparked a discourse about the meaning as well as significance of these crosses. Now, Trump had said the crosses were graves or burial sites of victims of white genocide. It has since emerged that the crosses were in fact temporarily erected during a protest against the killing of a farmer and his wife. There is, however, a permanent white cross monument on top of a hill on the side of the N1 between Mokopane and Polokwane in Limpopo.
A memorial site bearing thousands of crosses that's located on the N1 road between Mokopane and Limpopo has been making headlines. This after President Trump of the U.S. showed President Cyril Ramaphosa a video of crosses that he said symbolized graves of farmers who were killed during farm attacks in the country. This has made people look at that specific Limpopo memorial site, which we understand was first erected in 2004. Those are not graves, we've been told. It's just crosses that memorialize the people who were killed during farm attacks in the country. Let me just bring in the leader of the FF Plus in Limpopo to speak more about this, Andre Moss. Mr. Moss, thank you so much for your time. I understand you sort of understand the history behind the erection of that memorial site. Take us through what exactly is it, who envisioned it and why?
Thank you very much and good afternoon to the listeners as well. The initiative was started by a lady named Lita Cross-Fourie. She started it in June 2004. Family members and friends of her were killed in farm attacks, and she wanted to memorialize their memory, and she thought of this idea. The reason they also chose that a land that was donated outside there, it's a private land by a farmer, and every year since then, all farm attacks or farm murderers that took place in the previous years, the families and loved ones have the opportunity to come and plant a cross there in memory of the loved one that lost their life in the farm murder.
Does it mean everyone across South Africa who's been killed in a farm attacks cross, if their families have indeed enlisted their name, their cross is there? Is it one of many in the country, or is it the only ones that for everyone within the country?
It is the only one of the White Cross Memorial site that is there. If the person did lose his life in the previous year, the family can apply through the White Cross Foundation to have their loved one's cross be planted there. The White Cross Foundation will make sure and confirm that it was indeed a farm attack and the person wasn't, for example, living in the suburbs of a town or something, but it was a farm attack indeed. And it is for white Afrikaner families that gets attacked in farm attacks and murdered in farm attacks, or even in English-speaking Afrikaners, farm murderers in that case as well.
For somebody, you mentioned that it's within private land. For somebody like me who's not been able to access that, what does an individual one look like? What's on it? And also another confirmation, are those graves or not?
It is not graves, and if you do get a cross there, your photo and your name and your surname and your the burial date will also be there, or the time that the farm attack took place will be there.
Let's talk about the FF Plus involvement. What's your involvement there? But earlier you also mentioned that these are only Afrikaner or English-speaking farmers. Why is that?
The initiative, like I said, was started by Lita Cross-Fourie, and she felt at that moment to put the plight of the Afrikaners or farmers on the spotlight. She wanted it only for farm murderers, for white farmers to be memorialized there on the farm.
So black farmers are not memorialized or any other nation?
At this moment, no.
What's the FF Plus opinion, a video of similar crosses? Also, let's go back to similar crosses. I understand there were temporary crosses which could have made it to President Trump's video. Let's talk through about that temporary crosses that we could have seen in that video.
My understanding that it was a funeral of a farmer in the KZN Newcastle Vryheid area, and as the procession proceeded to bury the person, crosses were planted along the road, but that was only a temporary site.
The FF Plus view of President Trump, including it in the video that he showed the South African delegation, what's your view on that?
The FF Plus is very glad towards President Trump to show the video. We have been fighting in Parliament through our previous leader, Dr. Pieter Groenewald, to make farm murders a priority, to bring back community-based commando system and to bring back specialized police units that investigate farm murders, to bring them back so that the spotlight can be on it. And we've been fighting that in Parliament through Jacob Zuma's era, through President Cyril Ramaphosa's era. We have been urging the President to make it a priority crime for us.
Would the party also be trying to speak to the founders of the memorial site to incorporate black farmers? Is that something that the party might consider doing? Where are you standing currently now?
We haven't considered that yet, but that's a good suggestion. We haven't found what their reasoning behind that is, but that can always be in talks and negotiations for that all farmers can be included.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moss. That's Andre Moss of the Freedom Front Plus, the leader of the party in Limpopo, talking to us about that memorial site that's located on the N1 in Limpopo. As he stated, those are not graves, but families of farmers who've been killed in the country do apply through the museum to have a cross planted. He says there's an annual cross-planting ceremony that happens in October, and families during the course of the year they can be applying, and at that point during October they can plant a cross that he says bears a picture of the deceased and their names as well as the date of their death. This at this point is only available for white farmers.